We're back to the Neil Haley show here. And, we talk about the American dream. And my guest today is going to really describe that whole American dream, entrepreneur Olga Voloshina. Olga, thanks for stopping by. How are you today?
Hello. I am here from Dallas, Texas.
Awesome. Fantastic. I'm over in Fort Worth, so we're not far from each other at all.
Oh, yeah. You're neighbor.
I'm not, yes, we're not far at all from each other. So let's just jump right into it, Olga, and specifically enough, this American dream. Tell us, did you always want to be an entrepreneur? Was this something growing up you wanted to do?
No, that is just something that, dream that came out of nowhere. It was just, first we came to the United States in 1995. And at that point, we didn't even realize what are we getting into. And, we were coming for a beautiful life, which, I was surprised with the attitude of American people. On every person that I've met, first of all, everybody smiled here. That was number one. And everybody was eager to try to help you with whatever it is. Like, if they could not understand you, they would try to find a translator. If you needed to find something, they'll recommend you, find the book or recommend you the person. And I was absolutely just surprised and encouraged by that. And I was a nurse back in Russia, and I came here with the dream working in medical profession. But when we came here, I realized that medical profession here was very different. It was a lot like entrepreneurial. You have to do a lot of business. You have to have a lot of business, like, mind and dealings and, all kinds of things. And I was like, well, that's a little bit different from my dream of being in medical profession. Why don't I become, business major student? And I went back to college, studied international business and trade, studied computer programming, all kinds of different business classes and courses. Meanwhile, my husband started working for himself, because that was probably the easiest way of, getting him. His English was not that very well, so it was easier for him to, to find the work on the side. And little by little, our little business grew into one company. Then we branched another company. And now we're thinking on how we're going to diversify and do something else.
So tell us about the company. What's the first company you started, and then how all these companies grew from that?
The first company we started was a small construction company. We were doing, little handyman services. Then we started doing some kitchen remodeling. Then it became kitchen and bathroom custom remodeling, and it became where, we had jobs lined up for 2-3 years ahead of us. And we had never advertised, and I was, very pleased. And my husband turned out to be very good in doing what he was doing. And I was helping him with the business side. And at that time, I also worked and went to college and everything, but I was just, helping him. And little by little, I became a business owner. And right now he tells me, like, well, there is a lot of things that I cannot do, whatever you're doing. So just, that's your job. That's you do that. So it was, wonderful adventure, just, to see how from coming here with pretty much not knowing the language, not knowing the system, not knowing the culture, we had not even dreamed of, having something like, running our own company. And all of a sudden we're living our American dream that, to me, I always turn around at myself and just like, is that us?
Yeah, exactly. So you go from that, and then what's the second business you got started?
And the second business, we branched out of our construction company when we had been called onto some emergency jobs when the houses got flooded or roofs had been destroyed by hail.
Right.
And we just, branched out from just custom construction. We branched out to emergency water mitigation, fire mitigation, and anything that has to do with insurance claim. Which
is a huge business with tons of competition, but also tons of opportunities. You just have to be able to get there.
Dallas is, Dallas
I
is
know it. Wow.
number one in our inhale. So, out of the whole roofing industry, Dallas is number one. And, without even knowing, we turned out to be right in the middle of this huge industry. It's very interesting, when you say, when sometimes people ask me, what do you do? I'm like, well, we do roofs,
It's
people
just
don't
roofs, or do you guys do other water damage stuff too?
well, we do all kinds of, we do all kinds of, but it's very seasonal. Like, for example, last February when we had that big, huge freeze, all we did is water jobs. When there's a huge hail comes through, that's all we do, just roofs. So, it's
And the roofs
very,
always stays because of the hail. The hail
oh
damages
yeah,
the roofs like crazy. I got it. And you hear that banging. I understand. Especially this time of year, right? Is this when you guys fix all the roofs from when the hailstorms were, right?
yep, yep, yep. And and you would think that roofing is not very something that no girl would dream of, but it's actually it's pretty good. I love doing what.
Because especially because insurance companies are involved in that business model. So basically, I understand that because one of my clients is Surf Pro of Southern Butler, and so that's out in the Pittsburgh area. But they're a fire water restoration type company, and there's a lot of different things in the Western Pennsylvania than Texas. You have different types of weather, but because insurance companies cover these water losses, all these different things, it's just you got to act quickly, or they're not covering it, and that's something you need to educate your customers, right? When they know there's a problem, give you a call, right? As fast as possible.
Absolutely. And on the other side, we are helping people at their most desperate time, and that is my favorite part, is because we come when people are at a loss, both physical and mentally, because they cannot imagine how they're going to function for the next 9 months. And when you tell them, like,
Exactly.
it's going to last about 9 to 12 months, they were like, what? I thought it will be done in 1 month. No. So you work with a lot of people who had never been exposed to anything like that. And yes, it's a pleasure. It's like, it's a something that you enjoy doing by the final results, because at the end, yeah.
And because of your construction business, you add the other component. If there's a fire, basically you're going to be able to rebuild the whole thing. Some people just restore the thing. You're going to rebuild it. You're not just going to tear it down when there's a fire. I've been on site before with one of my clients and basically saw the whole thing gutted and fire, and they had to gut the whole thing out. So if there's a big fire, that's what you guys do as well, but then you'll do the reconstruction of it as well. So the other business fits hand in hand with your first business, right? Both together. That can
Well, you have to have pretty good to be a successful restoration company. You have to have extensive knowledge of construction materials, because it's plays a big role in restoration, because what's restorable, what's not restorable. So there's a lot of things.
Think about, they want things restored. They don't want to rebuild. They want to restore it. So that's your challenge in their whole process, for sure. Now, my question for you is, you said you have another business venture coming up? Is something else?
Well, yes, with everything, that's been with pandemic and people unable to travel places, and just, people being, closed in within the country itself or within the state, we were thinking that a lot of people had a lot of success with Airbnbs. And that's another thing that we would love to do, because we have an extensive knowledge of construction. We know extensive knowledge of maintaining the homes. And honestly, I just love real estate too. So
It's another great opportunity. So where can people connect with you? Where's the best place, especially, just to learn about you? Because again, you're an entrepreneur as well, celebrity entrepreneur, doing all the different things you're doing, speaking everything out there, can talk about different things. Where's the best place to connect with you?
Well, I have my personal website, olga.voloshina.com, and we're on Facebook, and Olga Voloshina, and on Instagram, Voloshin6041. And from my personal page, you can get connected to both Facebook and Instagram.
All right. Well, we appreciate you coming by, and thanks for coming on the show. Very great to connect about what you're doing in the American dream. Great and very inspiring. Gives other people opportunity that they too can come from somewhere and just transform themselves. So thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, we still have the best country in the world.
All right. You're listening and watching the Neil Haley Show, and we'll be back in just a moment.